Yeah, okay. Hello everyone. I hope I am audible to all of you. So let's start with that point where we left in the last session. So till now we have discussed about few of the basic things which we are going to require for the subject. And as I told you that most of the things you will see that, or if you go to the syllabus, you will notice that most of the things are like theoretical points, right? But some concepts are there definitely. So we started with those basic things. We have seen, we talked about these prerequisites which we require for the subject, right? And with the help of this one only, we'll try to go and we'll try to understand all the things here, right? So we will make use of these things in lab also, these concepts. So here talking about first unit when we started introduction to web and social analytics. So we have seen uh, we started with basic things like database, data mining, data warehouse information, all those things we have discussed. Now, here we will talk about some more points. For example, we will see what is analytics and why it is actually needed, or what is the need of analytics. I can say maybe it is social media analytics, web analytics, or how you can make use of any type of analytics in some business. So how you can grow your business with the help of this, how you can go and how you can uh, what we can say contact more and more people, more and more customers, how you can increase your customer base, right? So all those things we will try to see, and we will try to see the role of analytics in that, how analytics is going to help you there. Okay. So talking about remaining things like web analytics technical requirements, we talked about that in the last session. Social media environment, impact of social media on some businesses, this one also we have seen, and how to leverage social media for better services. Okay, these points we have talked in the last sessions, last few sessions, right? So today I will try to talk about need of using analytics. We will try to talk about some platforms which are available. So talking about this particular point, current analytics platforms. So I will talk about some platforms, some tools, some technologies which are available for analytics. Some of them they are licensed, some of them they are free. As we have already talked about this particular thing, open source versus licensed platform. So what's the difference? What are the advantages in case of open source? What are the disadvantages in that case? What are the advantages in case of licensed platform? Those basic things we, again we have actually discussed in last sessions, in last two sessions, right? So remaining points are like we will see today. We will talk about need of using analytics, okay, and then we will talk about uh, this particular point, current analytics platforms, and we will see what are the criteria for choosing right specifications and optimal solutions. Right? Again, all these are theoretical points as I already told you. So maybe you can relate all these things once you try to make use of some tool. Okay. So I will try to show it in that way, as I hope everyone has received the documents which I shared last time regarding R, right? So I hope that everyone has gone through all those documents, which we are going to use in practical as well as here also in theory, right? So let me start. Let me start with this point: need of using analytics. So let's see first of all what is analytics actually. Why we need analytics, and what before that let's see what is analytics. So again, there are different ways to do analytics. There are different types of analytics, talking about different types of data. As you remember, in previous sessions we talked about different types of data, right? So for example, structured data, semi-structured data, quasi-structured data, unstructured data. We have already discussed the examples. So depending on that, there are there can be different types of analytics. So you might have heard about social media analytics, right? Where we are going to discuss in this. That is what we are going to discuss in this subject. There is something called as big data analytics also. So that's why we have talked about the term called as big data. So we talked about 5 V's in that case, right? So yes, we can apply uh, this analytics concept to big data also. So let's see what is the need of using analytics. So what analytics does is analytics actually allow you to quantify the effects of making a change to marketing strategy. Uh, if I talk about suppose any business, as we want to discuss. analytics regarding some businesses, right? So that we want to understand how actually they can be useful to earn some profit or to increase profit. So analytics is going to allow you to quantify the effects of making a change in your marketing strategy, right? If you are running some business with some strategy, which you might be using for marketing, so analytics is going to help you to find out where you can go and you can make the change so that profit can be increased, right? That is the need of analytics. This is use of analytics where it is going to help you to change your marketing strategy to help you to increase the business, and that's invaluable to the process of improving and optimizing online marketing campaigns. So you might have seen there are different companies who actually run just on the basis of marketing, right? They help you to they help any business to market and to market their products to what you can say, uh, make up a publicity of that particular product so that many customers are going to be attracted to that, they will know about that particular product and all those things. So business analytics is going to help you to change the marketing strategy if there is something wrong, right? And the biggest benefit of utilizing proper analytics is being able to identify strengths and weaknesses. So maybe strengths in terms of what you can say, the product quality, strengths in case of maybe services, or there might be some weaknesses also with respect to the same points which I talked about, right? So whether it may be weakness or a strength, this analytics is going to play very important role for identification of that. But how it can help? So again, we can make use of different tools. For example, if I talk about the outcome of analytics, so it will give you some reports in the form of some PDF, some in the form of some graphs, maybe in the form of some rules like association rules, right? So association rules are like, for example, whatever you see in case of e-commerce websites like Flipkart and Amazon. So what do we do? Or what do we see actually there? So for example, if you go and if you try to purchase some item, right? Suppose if you purchase some item, so you will get a message that the person who brought this item also bought that item, right? So that is the thing. But what that is actually based on association rules. So association rule is the basic idea behind recommendations. So from where you got the association rules? So you got those association rules or the idea about the association rules from the output of some analytics tools, and that's where analytics is going to help you, right? So that is just a simple example. Later on I will be showing you one what you can say one example practical implementation, how to create recommendation engines with the help of association rules. So what we will do in that case is, suppose all of you might be knowing about Netflix, right? Netflix is the best example. So it is earning a lot of profit actually. So what happens is, suppose if you watch some movie on Netflix, if you just try to type the name of the movie, what will happen if you suppose if you try to type some starting characters of that particular movie, that's what will happen. It will recommend you some more movies, 8 to 10 more movies, which are related to that one, depending upon its genre, whether it's an action movie or what, a comedy movie or what, right? So this is nothing but what? This is nothing but recommendation. So recommendation is actually implemented with the help of association rules, and one gets association rules with the help of analytics, and that's why analytics is really very useful. Even if you talk about the businesses like online businesses here, if we talked about this particular thing, Netflix, which comes under to talk about entertainment domain, right? Yes, there also analytics is going to play a very important role. So that's a simple example. When we will implement it, at that time we will be able to make some more sense about it, definitely. Okay. So I want to talk about this particular point, need of using analytics. That's why I'm just trying to choose some. I'm just trying to put some of the examples in front of you so that you will be able to understand the importance of analytics and why is it so. Why one should go and one should make use of analytics. Right. So this is a simple explanation about this particular point, need of using analytics. So again, if you might be you might be having a question. So whether I say need or I should ask, if someone asks you why do we need web analytics, for example, right? So specifically, even here we are talking about web and social media. So if I ask a question, why web analytics? In general, we talked about analytics. Now again, there are different types of analytics depending on the domain. So there can be a question, why web analytics? So whenever you say analytics, obviously there are going to be different charts, different plots, different diagrams, different reports, different rules you are getting as output. But specifically, if I talk about web analytics, so if there is a question, why web analytics? So web analytics is a very useful tool in terms of many things. If you talk about, so it's a very useful tool, and that not only helps in understanding our audience, but actually it also helps you to, what you can say, to discover business insights that might not be visible directly, right? So that means to understand something in deep, to understand, to create some stories about the data which you might get from web analytics is going to play a very important role, right? And I can say no business can ignore this analytics, right? This analytics thing, no business can ignore, in at least in current scenario to talk about, because most of the businesses you will see that they are online, right? So almost all of them, none of them can actually ignore analytics if they want to provide a great user experience to its customers or visitors, as well as gain some access to business insights, right? So for getting the access to business insights, web analytics is going to play a very important role. So who knows, right? If you go and if you try to analyze the data with the help of some tools, some web analytics tools, for example, some analytics tools, you might get some new business insights for that particular business, right? So this is the thing, but one, this is the thing, but creating story depending on whatever the data you have as available data. So you can go and you can have some different strategies depending on that particular data. So, and that might turn out to be a very important step in your business. Who knows? So yes, that's why web analytics is going to give you so much of business insights, and try to and it is going to help you to understand your business in deeper way, right? So that it is going to help you increase the business, it is going to help you decrease the risk and increase the profit. Okay, so as we talked about web analytics, as we were talking about need of using analytics. So web analytics is one thing I can talk about, right? Another thing in general can be any business. If you talk about, so for any business, you can apply business analytics. Again, if you ask why business analytics, or first of all, what is business analytics actually? So this particular word we have already seen, analytics. It's also a methodology. So business analytics is actually a methodology or a tool to make a which will help you to make a decision, or in terms of business, it is going to help you to make a commercial decision, I can say. So hence it impacts functioning of whole organization, right? So depending on the decision, obviously functioning is functioning will be there. The complete functioning of the business is going to be dependent on the decision. So business analytics is going to help you. Business analytics is going to help you to make a decision which might affect the complete business, in your case as a business person, if you are looking at it, right? Or maybe for any customer. So it's a methodology. Business analytics is a methodology or a tool to make commercial or good commercial decisions, I can say, and hence it impacts functioning of the company, or the, I can say, the complete organization. And therefore business analytics can help improve profitability of the business. It will increase the market share and revenue, right? And provide better return to shareholders also. So returns will be better if you try to make use of business analytics in for any type of a business, for that matter, right? So there are a lot of advantages of using business analytics, and that's why those advantages are actually the need why one should go and one should try to make use of business analytics in the business. Okay, and specifically as we talked about web analytics, business analytics, now there will be other terms depending on the data also. So as we have talked about this particular term, big data, right? So obviously there is something which is called as big data analytics also, right? So web analytics, business analytics, and there is something called as big data analytics also, because when we discussed about this particular term, in which we have talked about 5 V's: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. So at that time, we have discussed that in the current scenario, if you check, most of the data is unstructured data, right? Audio, video, images. So if you talk about specifically for your subject, if you talk about social media data, right? So just take example of Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. You will see that in most of the cases there is unstructured data, and that actually contributes to big data, and that's why there is a very much need to go and to analyze that particular data, and that is the thing about big data analytics. Right. So as we discussed, the need of data analytics with the help of web analytics and business analytics, there comes big data analytics also. So big data analytics, again, it's a process of extracting useful information by analyzing different types of big data sets in this case. So again, it's a process of extracting. So if you people remember, when we talked about something called as, you might be knowing, KDD, right? KDD process. So KDD process is actually many times you will see it is similar to data mining, right? So we talked about data mining initially as the when we discussed about data database in the first session, right? If you people remember, so KDD is actually similar to data mining. So I hope many of you might be knowing about KDD, right? Okay, someone is raising the hand. Mayur, do you have any question? Mayur, any question? You raised your hand. Please let me know if any question. Okay, and let me tell you guys, see all these points, frankly speaking, all these points are theoretical, right? So, but yeah, I need to discuss all these things. Okay, if you in between, if anyone is having any question, you can always ask your question. You can unmute yourself, or you can just send the question in the chat box. That will also do, no problem. And see, as I told you that many of you might be knowing all these things as they are theoretical general terms, but yes, we need to discuss that because that's in your syllabus. If you want me to implement any one of these, let me know. We will do it, right? Or if you think that I am too fast, let me know. If you think that I am too slow, let me know in that case also. Or if you want me to skip something, that is also okay. Because I know that many of you, these are general terms. I'm not saying that you might not be able to understand all these terms if I do not teach you, right? So yes, there might be some people who might be knowing all these things, but yes, as this is our syllabus, we need to discuss that. At least I need to complete all these things, right? So otherwise, I always refer with practicals. So let me complete some of the things. Anyway, we will be having some practical session also today. So we will try to implement all these things in lab also. Web analytics. We will use some platforms. We will use some tools to get the reports. I'll be showing you all these things practically also. Okay. So yes, I think some people were raising hands. So let me know if you have any doubt. You can stop me. No problem. So as I was talking about this particular term, anyone any idea about what is KDD? You remember what is the full form of KDD? Anyone? Which is similar to data mining. Any idea about this particular term? Anyone? KDD. So at least let me know. Yes, no. Okay, then I will have to take names. Then we will reply.
Knowledge discovery in data.
So knowledge discovery data, KDD. So I think we discussed this right last time. Did I touch this point? KDD. Can anyone tell me? Those who are present. Yes, no. KDD. Anyone remember? Because there is a process. KDD process. Knowledge discovery data process. Can you just let me know? Did we discuss this? Anyone remember KDD? At least those who are present. Yes, no. Abhishek, Mayur, Priyanshi, Sujita, Yash, Akash, Putin. Yes. Otherwise, let me know whether you want to just attend these things just for your attendance. If it is like that, let me know. Yes, Abhishek, Zainab, Varun, Shubh, Sarthak.
It starts with data cleaning.
So it starts with data cleaning. Data cleaning is so. Just let me know. Did we discuss this?
So I wasn't there in the last session, but what I remember from second year, I can tell you.
No. So data cleaning is the second step actually. It does not start with data cleaning. So those who are present,
Data integration.
data not integration, data fetching,
Okay.
right? Or data ingestion. KDD process actually starts with data fetching. Yes, those who are present, can you tell me, did we discuss this particular term? Okay, no problem. Those who are present, so let it
The
to
data
yourself only, no
fetching, which
problem.
gathering data from databases or external sources like.
So can you tell me, you are present in the last session?
Yes, sir.
So did we discuss this? This particular term?
So which term?
KDD. Did we discuss KDD? Did I talk about KDD in the last session?
So I don't remember discussing KDD.
Okay. Just tell me, did we discuss this data mining?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So KDD actually starts with uh, fetching of the data, and then cleaning will be done. Once cleaning is done, then required features are extracted. And once required features are extracted, then you can go and you can actually make use of some tools and you can plot a graphs, or you can get the reports, or you can get the rules, association rules. Right. So KDD, that's why I told you it is something which is similar to data mining. As in your syllabus, they have already mentioned this particular thing as a prerequisite, data mining. That's why I was expecting that you might have heard about this particular term, which is KDD, and KDD is similar to data mining. So what happens there? We actually make use of different tools. So we people also, when we want to develop some projects, what we do is we try to get the data from different sources. Once we get the data, and then only we try to do data cleaning. Now, can anyone tell me what happens in case of data cleaning? Any example? I told you last time. What happens in case of data cleaning? Anything, any type of task we do? Can anyone remember what type of a task we do in data cleaning?
ETL operations.
ETL operation. Data cleaning I am talking about.
Missing values.
Missing values. Handling missing values. Right? So if you people remember, I talked about missing values. Why it is important to handle missing values? Because missing values are also called as null values, NA values, or missing values. Right? So any arithmetic operation with null always results into null. If you people remember, I asked you, what is the result of 2 plus null? Right? Now I think you people will remember. What is the result of this 2 plus null?
Null.
Null. So any arithmetic operation, whether it is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, whatever it may be, any arithmetic operation with null always results into null. For that, I have given you one example. Right? We discussed that, okay, there is an employee table. Right? In employee table, if we have employee number, employee salary, right? I think employee number, employee salary, then there is commission, and then total salary of that particular employee. Okay. So this kind of example we have seen in the last session. So in that case, I told you that, okay, employee number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Say employee salary is suppose 50K, 70K, 80K. Now this particular employee has spent some extra hours. He actually uh, he worked for extra time, and that's why he will get commission for that particular month. So for example, here he is going to get 5,000. So his total salary is going to be what? 55k. Let's suppose the person who is having whose employee number is 2 and who is having 70k as a salary, he did not work extra in that month. So obviously his salary will be what? 70 plus NA. That means he is going to get what? He is going to get nothing. Even though he worked for 30 days, but he is not getting anything because his commission is null. His commission is missing. So that's a very big problem. Even though that particular person has worked for 30 days, he should have got at least 70k, right? That's his basic salary, but he is not getting that. That is the problem with NA or null values, and that's why it's very, very important to clean the data. And this is one of the things which we do in cleaning data. That's what I wanted to tell you actually. Okay. So what happens in case of that KDD process is knowledge discovery data. We start with the fetching, right? Obviously, your data will be in some databases, right? So here is your database, for example. Here is your database. Your data is in these databases, right? And it is being actually fetched from different sources. So these are your databases. Now from the databases, it is going to go where? It is going to go to data warehouse. That's why we have talked about data warehouse concept, if you people remember, right? So it is going to go to some data warehouse, something like this, right? So before loading that particular data into data warehouse, what happens is on the data in the database, we try to apply something which is called as data cleaning. And the example which I just now discussed, missing values, right? Handling missing values, that is the example of the task which we do in case of data cleaning. Once your data is clean, then only so here you are having a cleaning data. Now on this cleaning data, as per the problem statement, you are going to select the data, whatever is required. So that is called as data selection. And so on this data, we are going to apply data selection. That means if I do not require something, why should I get that? Because if I try to get unwanted data, that is going to take a lot of memory. And if it takes a memory, it is going to take the it is going to slow down the whole complete process. It is just like, for example, if you have a very much of data on your mobile phone is going to slow down because it is going to make use of the RAM, which is a memory, which is a primary memory, right? So if you are having unwanted data, that means everything is going to be slowed down. So in that case, just try to select the data whatever you require for solving your problem statement and not the unwanted data. So that's why we do data selection. So that's why if you people remember, I talked about these statements also: DDL, DML, DCL, TQL, and TCL. I hope you are aware about all these things and you remember these things, right? DDL, create, alter, drop, truncate, rename. DML, insert, update, delete, merge. DCL, data control language, right? So we have commit and rollback. DQL, data query language, that is select statement. TCL, transaction control language, and that is nothing but grant and revoke. Right, so all these segments you are already aware about. That's what I have actually found out in the last session. So we again we have actually talked about all these things. Maybe you might have actually done practicals on this. So you are aware about that. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. So data selection, and one more thing we actually apply on this particular data which we create as a clean data, we apply something called as transformation. What do you mean by transformation? So many times what happens is there is a need to add some extra columns, some extra features to our data. So you are going to add those columns, transform, or there might be some need you need to delete some features or create extra features with the help of previous features and so on. So apply transformations on the data which is clean data, right? And once everything is done, and once you have actually applied this selection and transformation according to your problem statement, right? Then you can go and you can have a data which will be task relevant data only. So this data is going to be your task relevant data. Whatever data you will get here, you can call it as a task relevant data. That means the data which you need for your problem statement. Task relevant data, I can say. And once you get task relevant data from this point onwards, you are going to make use of data mining techniques, right? Different data mining techniques you can make use of, and finally you are going to get something like some reports, some charts, some association rules, and so on. Something like this you are going to get. So I can call it as pattern, because data mining is nothing but what? Data mining is the process of finding out the patterns in the data. And from those patterns, now you can go and you can create the stories, or in short, I can say you can have some knowledge about your data. And from this knowledge, you can go and you can make the decisions to improve the business. So here we are not yet done. Here, if required, you will again go and you will try to see if there is something needed from this particular knowledge. Once again, you will go and you will repeat that particular step, right? That is one thing. And then again, if it is needed, so you might need to refer to data warehouse. So this can be a process, and many times it is needed to refer to the original data also. So I will just, that's why I will just go and try to have these arrows in this direction. So this complete process, whatever you are able to see, starting from fetching the data, right, and cleaning the data, then selection and transformation, and then data mining, and then patterns, and then finally knowledge. This complete process is called as knowledge discovery in data process, KDD process it is called as. So that's what actually is being used for analytics also, right? That's why one should be aware about all these things. So if someone does not remember this, now you try to recall it like this, as I have already talked about data mining thing. So try to remember this so that we'll be able to make some sense whatever we will be discussing in this session for this particular subject. Okay, so that's a simple KDD process, or what you can say, which in which we actually make use of data mining. So talking about this point, many times you will notice that KDD is going to KDD is going to be there before going and applying different before going and using different tools for getting the desired results. Okay. So when we talk about need of using analytics, so we talked about web analytics, we talked about business analytics, and we have also discussed big data analytics. Right now, talking about as we are discussing about web and social analytics. So now putting some light on this, which is web analytics. Again, web analytics can also be divided into different types. So there might be two categories, three categories you will see for web analytics. So first type, it can be off-site web analytics, okay, or there can be on-site web analytics. So off-site and on-site web analytics can be there. So off-site web analytics actually refers to web measurement and analysis, regardless of whether you own a website or whether you maintain a website. That is called as off-site web analytics. Talking about this particular thing, on-site web analytics, so it is more common of the two actually. So it measures a visitor's behavior once on your website. So according to what user actually is doing on that particular website, so it is going to talk about, or it is going to analyze the users of that particular visitor's behavior, I can say. And that is called as, so this is going to come in case of owner or maintainer, right? And this is going to be for visitor. That's why on-site, off-site, and on-site web analytics. These are the two types of web analytics, right? And again, talking about some other things which are related to analytics, right? So if you ask me, will it be good to talk about to work in analytics of any type? It may be big data analytics, or web analytics, or business analytics. So yes, obviously, as a career also you can go and you can choose that as your career option. So you might have heard data analytics, business analytics term many times, which can be used in data science, right? So data analytics is actually very buzzing word also, you can say. And data analysts are still in big demand if we go, because data is not like the size is going to decrease or something like that. Data size is always going to increase, because if you talk about social media, if you talk about businesses, all of them, they are running online. So obviously there is a chance that they are going to generate data, and whatever the data is being generated, so it's not like that the size is going to decrease. It is going to increase. And when more and more data increases, there will be requirement for more and more people to work on that data, to get the insight from that data, to create the stories about that data. Right? And that's why this is one of the good options to work as a data analyst, right? As a career option, or at least to start with. So there are different types of analysts now. So you might see you might have actually seen, there might be some friends or some relatives of yours who might be working as or you might be working in this kind of fields, so you might be knowing about that. So one type of analyst, which is web analyst, is still definitely the most wanted category, I can say, right? So yes, that's a good option. You can choose, you can go for. There's a demand for that. Now talking about this particular term, data analytics. If we talk about this particular term, so if you talk about data analytics, when strategizing or something as a comprehensive as data analytics, including solutions across different facets, it is necessary. Data analytics is very, very necessary. So whenever we talk about data analytics and the solutions which you get with the help of data analytics, those solutions can be divided into different types. So many times you will see that they are going to give you some descriptive solutions, right? So I will call it as descriptive analytics. So data analytics again can be divided like this. It can be descriptive analytics. It can be predictive analytics. I hope now you are aware about predictive modeling because that is the prerequisite in your syllabus. So yes, we can have a output as a predictive analysis also with the help of data analytics. And sometimes you will see that it is prescriptive also. So it is going to suggest that okay, this should be done, this should not be done, and so on, right? So yes, data analytics can be used in many ways. And talking about business, as we are talking about business here, and as we are talking about need of using analytics. So whenever we talk about business, obviously there is a term which is marketing, and which is going to come into picture whenever we talk about business. So if I want to talk about the importance or the need of analytics to marketing analytics or for marketing, I can say that marketing analytics is the process of measuring, analyzing, and managing your marketing strategies performance to maximize the profit or effectiveness and optimize your return on investment. That is nothing but ROI. So analytics allow marketers to be more efficient and minimize wasted marketing budget, because with the help of analytics only you are going to know that okay, this is my customer base, this is where I should concentrate more, so it is going to save your time, and it is going to save the energy, and in turn actually it is going to save money at last, right? And which is definitely going to contribute in terms of profit also. So that's why the analytics is going to be, this analytics term is going to be very, very useful and very, very important, okay? So there are different examples one can quote actually for benefits of using data analytics, right? For example, one of the most important one thing is that improve decision making. So with the help of analytics, you will be in a position to make good decisions. So companies can use the insights they gain from data analytics to inform their decisions. Decision makers or the what you can say, or the higher authorities, managers, and so on. It's very effective for marketing. It's very effective to better your customer service, and it is going to give an idea about your or to make your operations more efficient, right? So these are some of the uses of analytics. So which you can go and you can write down for this particular point. Need of using analytics. Right. Now let's try to talk about some other point here. For example, let me talk about this particular point, current analytics platforms. So now, as I told you, there are a lot of platforms. There is a list available. If you go and if you try to check, there are a lot of platforms which can help you to do analytics. Right? And obviously, everyone has its pros and cons. So if I want to list a few analytics platforms, few current analytics platforms, I can do that. So you might have heard about something called as Tableau, right? Tableau is a tool which is a licensed. You can purchase that actually. But yes, as I told you that for teachers and for students, this Tableau is available for 1 year. And even if it is not available, one can make use of Tableau tool actually as a free. There are some tricks one can make use of. That's what we people also do. If someone wants to learn about this analytics tool, no need to purchase it actually. You can make use of Tableau by without actually putting your money. into that. One can learn that. There are some tricks and tricks actually you can use of. So Tableau is the one actually. If you are knowing about something like I think I talked about Gartner's window, right? So that particular quadrant. So Tableau is one of the leaders in analytics. Tableau tool is actually one of the leaders, topmost I can say, in case of analytics. There is one more tool which is called as Microsoft. It is a Microsoft product. Microsoft Power BI it is called. This is also one of the tools which is again comes in the quadrant of leaders, I can say. So Microsoft Power BI is also a tool one can make use of as an analytics tool. One can learn this particular tool if you want to make your career in analytics. So you can start with these tools. So both of them are very much powerful. And as I told you that as the output of analytics tool, definitely you are going to get some reports and association rules, right? So Tableau is going to give you that, and it can actually work with most of the types of data. Same is the case for Microsoft Power BI. The only problem you will see with Microsoft Power BI is that it might not work on Mac, right? Otherwise, it will work. And again, if I want to mention some other tools, there's a tool called as Looker. So you can go for that one also. That's also possible, right? Then there is something called as Domo, right? So this list, and one of the most important tools once again is Helix Sense. This is also a good one. Many companies make use of Helix Sense. Is also a good tool, right? So like this, there are a number of tools one can have, and which will come under current analytics platforms, right? So if you know at least one or two tools out of this, that will be sufficient to get a job in the market as a data analyst. Obviously, one should be having some experience on what we can say some real-time projects, right? One should be aware about how to make use of all these tools in some real-time projects. And if even if I am talking about all these things, I should add some other tools or technologies which you can make use of, like Python. With the help of libraries which are available in Python, which has made Python very, very powerful. So like you might have heard about NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Cufflinks, Seaborn. There are number of libraries one can make use of in case of Python, which will also help you to do analysis. Right? So that's why many people you will see that they can make use of Python also. And obviously there is R language. So along with this, I will add these two also. So someone if planning to work as an analyst, definitely one should be aware about these things at least. Okay, and then you can go and you can shift to other career options also, like someone if wants to switch into data analysis or machine learning or deep learning, definitely that is going to help. But to start with, definitely these things are very, very important, right? So these are some of the current platforms I can say. I'm not saying that it is limited to this number of tools only. There are number of tools which are available, right? Now as an analytics platform is actually a unified and proper solution designed to address the demands of users. In any platform you talk about, they are actually designed to address. Ultimate goal is to address the demands of users with the help of all these analytics tools, and especially for some what you can say large data-driven companies. Which might be using different relational databases or RDBMSs, right? Relational database management systems. So these tools actually help them in providing contextual analyze data out of all the stored information. So the companies which deal with huge RDBMS data, and these analytics tools are going to be very, very critical in that case. They are going to be very, very helpful in that case, right? So again, if someone asks you what can be the best analytics tool to go for, so it's not like that actually. But I have mentioned few of them here. Definitely, everyone is good. As I told you, everyone is having some pros and some cons, right? So it all depends on what type of a project you are working and in what type of organization you are working. There might be some, what you can say, some rules they might be following according to their business strategies. So it all depends on those factors also. But yes, whatever I mentioned here, whatever you are able to see, these are the best tools only. So you might have heard about something called as Zoho Analytics. You can go and you can add this particular tool also in this list, right? And Domo I have already told you. Quilix Sense is also good, right? But many companies use Tableau and Microsoft BI, and in that also, if I want to compare, Tableau will come at the top. So, okay. So and in our practical, we will be talking about something called as Google Analytics. So maybe once we are done with our basics, I'll be talking about Google Analytics, how to create the account, how to fetch the data into our from the Google Analytics. So I have one document for that. I will be making use of that particular document in our practical, right? And we will try to fetch the data from Google Analytics into R, and we will also try to fetch the data from Twitter into R, and we will analyze that, right? So we will be doing it with the help of R. We can do it with the help of Python also. That's also possible. First of all, we'll go and try to make the part, and then as I told you that I will be talking about this one also. But yes, let me start with the basics of both these two only, and then only I will go and I will try to explain you all these things, because it should make some sense. It should not be like that I will go on talking and you will just listen me and will not do anything. It is not. It should not be like this actually. I want people to also talk and you ask questions if you have. I will again repeat, I know that all these things are theoretical, but yes, this is what we need to start with. If you want me to discuss about some assignments, some hands-on in theory also, I will go with that. I will explain you all the things with the help of some examples which I can implement. But let me at least go and try to finish at least first 2 units, and then I will utilize this time also to make you aware about some projects, real-time projects. That will be something like something good which you can make utilize, right, of that. So these are some of the tools which can come under current analytics platforms. Okay? And as I told you, it is not limited to that one. So whenever we talk about all the different tools, you will see that for each and every tool, whether it's Tableau, Microsoft BI, Quilix Sense, we talk about any tool, there are different editions available for those tools, right? Yes, Pritesh, any question? Pritesh, you raise your hand. Any question? Yes, no. I hope I am audible to everyone. I hope you are there. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Any question? Pritesh, you raise your hand. Okay, no problem. So whenever we talk about these tools, you will see that there are different editions available for the tools. For example, like Enterprise Edition, right? So specifically, if I talk about this particular term, Enterprise Analytics Platform. So as we talked about current platforms, you will see that there are some Enterprise Analytics platforms. Right? So what is Enterprise Analytics Platform actually? So it's a platform on which companies do their analytical research, and they try to comprise the data. So companies like there are different companies like most of the times like HCL, right? Like they offer, what they offer is HCL like companies offer these services with their cloud-based analytics platform, right? So HCL is one of the companies actually which will provide other companies, which will provide services to other companies. And what type of services they will provide? They will provide enterprise analytics platform. So everything will be ready onto cloud, right? So for example, if you want to do some project, you need to purchase the space, you need to purchase your enterprise analytics platform edition, and you will be in a position to work on the cloud. So why actually you make use of a cloud? Because you know, right, what is cloud? Cloud is a platform which allows users to work from anywhere, and it allows users to work in a team, and it allows them to make use of all those things in real time. So I hope now you are aware about this particular thing. There are different cloud platforms, like you might have heard about Amazon Web Services, you might have heard about Yotel, you might have heard about something called as Microsoft Azure. This is a cloud which is provided by Microsoft company. Then there's one more cloud platform which is provided by Google. It's called as Google Cloud Platform, basically. And one of the clouds which is free, you can go and you can apply, you can deploy 5 applications at most. It's called as Heroku Cloud, right? So maybe once we develop some predictive models here, I will show you how to deploy your applications onto cloud, and everyone in the world will be able to make use of your application. For example, just take example of WhatsApp. You can access WhatsApp from anywhere in the world, right? So from any location because it's on cloud. So once we are done with some use case studies, some assignments or some project, mini project kind of thing, definitely I will show you how to deploy those things onto cloud. Specifically, I will talk about Heroku because Heroku is the cloud where you can have your account as free and it is not going to ask you for any charge and it is free for 2 years. Others, they are going to ask you for your credit card details or debit card details. Heroku, in case of Heroku, there is no need and you can make use of that for 2 years at least. So that's why I will start with this one. Right? So I was talking about enterprise analytics platform. So the HCL like companies, they provide all these enterprise analytics platform and they ask you for payment. So as much as services you make use of from HCL's enterprise analytics platform, you will be charged for all those services, right? And that's how those companies actually earn. So they will provide such a platform where you will be having everything. Suppose you need Tableau tool, you will have Tableau. Suppose you need something like Microsoft Power BI, you will be having all those things there. Everything installed. You just need to go and you need to make use of that. Okay. So that's how one can make use of for those analytics, enterprise analytics platform. Okay. And again, there are different architectures also available for all these platforms. If you go and if you try to learn any of the platforms or tools, you see that there are different architectures available. So analytics architecture, if I talk about it, refers to the application or what you can say applications, infrastructures, tools, and leading practices actually, which enable access to analysis of information to decrease or to optimize business decisions and performance. Okay, so if I talk about Tableau tool, again, you will go and you will see the architecture of Tableau tool. If you are interested in that, you need to understand how actually it works and everything, right? So these are some of the current platforms, or we can say modern data platforms, right? And these are like a future-proof architecture for business analytics, I can say. And all these are like function architecture. All of them for all of them actually there are function architectures which will help you to understand all the components for those tools, which will help you to support your data, right? So if you talk about this particular thing, current analytics platforms, obviously there will be current, you can say current techniques or modern data techniques which will be used for warehousing, like machine learning, artificial intelligence development, or real-time data ingesting and processing. All of them, in all of them, you are going to need data analytics platforms. Obviously, machine learning, you will suppose it is going to give you a model, right? Machine learning is going to give you a model, but before that, you will be having some data here. So to get an insight about that particular data, you are going to need these tools, current analytics tools, these analytics platforms. So obviously, it is going to help you to understand the data in a better way, right? So these are some of the tools. Maybe I will, as I talked about this current analytics platforms, I will show a very simple example with implementation. I will try to compare Microsoft Excel, right, with practical hands-on, and I will compare this particular Tableau. Tableau is already installed in my case, so I will show you comparison of these two and how this one is better as compared to this one. So maybe in terms of time, maybe in terms of efficiency, or maybe in terms of you can say learning and getting the insights about the data, how it is going to be very easy as compared to this. I will try to talk about that particular point, considering this particular point in your theory class, right? So we'll try to compare both of them also. I will show you what advantage you will get with the help of this current data analytics platform, right? So that if someone is interested, definitely you can do and you can learn this, right? So because see, if someone wants to learn Tableau also, whenever I conduct trainings for Tableau, so it takes near about 2 months of training, at least to learn all those things. Along with the projects, it is going to take near about 4 months. So you can imagine just to learn one tool. If you want to learn everything from A to Z for one tool, obviously one should spend some time. Or it is easy. It is just a drag and drop tool. But yes, every tool has its own rules and regulations. So for learning all those things, one need to spend some time. But you know, in a nutshell, I'll be showing you the comparison between Excel and Tableau, because I hope Microsoft Excel everyone is aware about it, right? So so it's not a big deal for you, right? So this is what about current data analytics platforms or analytics platforms. This particular point, open source versus licensed platform, we already discussed. So last point which is remaining is how to choose right specifications and optimal solution. This is the last point from the first unit. I will talk about that one in the next session, right? And maybe if something is remaining, you let me know. I will complete that. If any doubt you have, let me know with that one. And here also, if you have any doubt, if you have any question, you can ask right now. Anyone any question? And just send me the roll numbers or seat numbers in the chat box. Who did not send? Yes, any question, anyone? No. Good. No problem. I hope not you have any question. But let me know if anyone is having any doubt. Okay, I hope everyone has sent the seat numbers in the chat box. Everyone is done, I think. So, okay, then, no problem. We will meet in the lab session. So timing is 1 p.m. Right? So I will stop here, all of you. We will meet in the lab session. Let me know if anything from your side.